Want to bring this up because we talked about and previewed the LSU offense. We've previewed the LSU defense. We've talked about some guys, and in those slots, we talked about last week some of the guys that we're hearing around the building that are some of the big winners of this offseason, this summer. Harold Perkins comes to mind. Garrett Nussmeier comes to mind. Chris Hilton comes to mind. Gabe Rutherford comes to mind. A lot of guys that had some massive off seasons. And today, Bo Bordelon, who got the Iron Tiger Award, who had the best offseason or best summer per strength and conditioning coach or coordinator, Jake Flint. Does Bo Bordelon get a shot at saying, hey, man, he had a massive offseason. He did a lot of special things. Can he find his way? I mean, nothing saying that he can't find his way. You got a lot of positions that you got to find and guys that can start here. But the thing that I look at the most are guys to people around that building that stand out. Now, there is a freshman and a young man that has really been standing out not only in spring, but I think this summer has made a very massive impact on how coaches view him moving into fall practice and fall camp. A lot of us, as we did earlier, talked about DJ Pickett. But the person I've heard the most about this offseason as a freshman is DJ Pickett, yes, and we've seen him up close and personal. But the one that I think has gotten the most buzz is, hey, man, this guy might come in here and start pushing for playing time, not named DJ Pickett as one of those freshmen. It's Carius Curne. We have talked about Carius and potentially him moving from where we saw him during the spring at tackle to guard. I think you're doing him such a massive disservice if you leave him at tackle. Give him a shot if you need to give him a shot there. But I do think the big freshman needs to be moved in at guard. An athletic freak is what Carius Curne is. A 100% bona fide athletic freak. Is LSU in a situation right now where you have to start one of these young freshmen? I do not know if he will start week 1 against Clemson. I don't know if he starts week 2, week 3. I mean, hell, it took Emory Jones, 3 games before he got his first ever start, and how BK worked through that offensive line through the first couple of games. But the truth is him coming in through spring, which Emory Jones, if you remember, did not. Can Carius Kern push for one of those guard positions? And some things that I'm hearing and going into fall camp, I do think Carius Kern has the opportunity, based off of the offseason that he's had, to push for one of those guard roles. Josh Thompson is someone you brought in from the portal. DJ Chester was a guy that you had at center that you're probably going to move to left guard or right guard depending on how things shake out. And you have Carius Kern there. Those are the 3 guys, along with Paul Mabenga, that I think that really have a shot here at getting one of those positions. Guys, you have a 2 to 3 position area that is wide open here. I do think Tyree Adams starts at left tackle. I do think Weston Davis starts at right tackle, barring injury, knocking on wood. But the main thing in all of this is that the biggest conversation piece that I've had with a lot of people this offseason has been that offensive line and how it forms. I do think you get in a situation where Brad Davis is probably going to feel very comfortable with Tyree Adams, DJ Chester, Braylon Moore. Who is your right guard? I don't know. Is it Josh Thompson? Is it Carius Kern? Does he beat out Thompson? Does he beat out DJ Pickett and then Weston Davis? Guys, I don't know. The one thing I do know is 3 things have happened this offseason with freshman Carius Kern. I have been told the weight room has been absolutely electric, and the lock-in and focus is giving some Will Campbell, Emory Jones-esque type of vibes of guys that can come in and play now. If that is the case, then you have a guy that can instantly, I don't want to say start, but can be a part of that rotational piece. I do think that Carius Kern has beaten out guys like Solomon Thomas. I think he's beaten out guys like Cohen Eccles. And guys, quite honestly, I think based off this offseason so far, he's going to ultimately, if not in the beginning, he's going to beat out a guy like Paul Mabenga. Don't let the first day of practice fool you of what this is going to look like. He's in that mix. And however it shakes out, however it goes, I do think that if you're looking from an offensive freshman standpoint, that a lot of people have a lot of buzz on coming out of camp or going into camp, I should say, excuse me. Going into camp is Carius Curne. It's at a position of massive need. You've seen a pair of freshmen come in here and hold things down for you in Jones and in Campbell. I do think Carius Curne for some of this is a little bit more ready than his counterparts. I don't remember DJ Chester coming in here being this strong. I don't remember Josh Thompson being this strong on film. I don't really remember any, like even Will Campbell or Emory Jones sitting there and hitting 2 to 3 reps of 485 on the bench. I thought he was going to squat it, if I'm being real with you, but he benched it. So is he squatting 600-700 pounds? I don't know, but I bet you he's damn close or he's going to get there. Guys, this kid's an athletic freak. We saw him in the offseason doing cartwheels and backflips and front flips and shit. We saw him do a 360 and then standing right under the basket and him dunking the goal at 330-plus pounds. This dude's a mauler, man. And I think something that is very key, guys, from the running back position, because Garrett is not going to run for 1,000 yards, clearly. From the running back position, under Brian Kelly, you've never had a 1,000-yard rusher at the running back in the running back room. Never. Not once. So in the 3 years, you had Josh Williams that led your team in rushing with 532 yards and 6 touchdowns. Logan Diggs in 23, who had 653 yards and 7 touchdowns. Now, he missed some games in there as well, and I get that. And then last year, Caden Durham, who had 753, that could be what Caden Durham does this year. He could eclipse that 1,000-yard mark, and we really need him to do that. But there are a couple of pieces, Carius Curne being included, and what does a 5-star in Harlem Berry do? But you do have three ultimately what rounded out to be 5-star athletes that have already made a presence. DJ Pickett, Harlem Berry, and now Carius Curne. Guys, I think those are 3 young dudes that are going to play, and they're going to play early, and they're going to find themselves in this lineup when this season starts. I don't know if it's in week 1, come week 3, when you're playing Florida, come week 4 when you're going up against Southeastern, hell, week 2 against Louisiana Tech. These guys are going to find themselves with a lot of playing time. Carius Curne is in that mix. Again, don't know if he starts week 1 against Peter Woods and that interior defensive line against Clemson. I do think he's going to get a shot. If you're a freshman on this team, I do think that you have to find a situation where you got to make such a massive impact like Will Campbell or Emory Jones did to get there. And Emory didn't even start in the first game. It was Cam Wire, if you remember, who was out there at right tackle. Because the running game is the biggest piece for this entire offense. It doesn't matter what Garrett does, doesn't matter anything. In reference to what I've seen from Carius Curne with my own 2 eyeballs, I thought that from a run game standpoint, from a physicality standpoint in the spring, he was the most physical along that offensive line. I don't think anybody was more physical than him. The dude did some nasty stuff. The battles between Sadir Mitchell and Carius Curne were some outright freak show battles. Like legitimate, like, dude, this is what SEC offense and defensive linemen look like. I don't know what's going to happen here, but if you talk to anybody in that building who's been around this offseason, the 3 names that come up the most is Harlem Berry, DJ Pickett. But, guys, it's undeniable from what I've heard about Carius Curne. If that is ultimately the case, then plug and play him because you need him. And I think of all 3 of those positions, I do think the one that you might need the most is Carius Curne. But to me, because of how bad you've been there and the significance of what it means to win along the offense and defensive lines. I think he's going to get a shot here. You do him a disservice playing him at tackle, a massive disservice. Again, I think Brad Davis was playing portal politics in the offseason, and let's hope that it plays out here. But And all of that being said, that's the name that I'm hearing the most right now. It's Carius Curne, your big guard or tackle, whatever they want to put him at. All right. A couple comments. Carter's in the building, but it doesn't look like he's at his chair. So we're going to get to him in just a moment. Jason says they kept running zone and Nuss never pulls. It was so predictable. Very predictable. Very predictable. Brandon Reese says Sloan will have to call more run plays during games this season. Guys, here's where I stand. Okay? Where I stand with Joe Sloan and some of these situations. Number one, I don't understand some of the things they're trying to do from a run game standpoint. And look, he's been around more football than me. Go right on ahead. What does this guy know? I get it. I don't understand their goals. Where I sit, though, is that your head coach had to help you in the run game last year and got a play sheet and started helping you call run plays. How do you walk that back? I just don't know how you walk that back. That's got to mean that Alex Atkins is going to be a big part of this.